How many times have you seen the accused confess on television? Well, that was always fantasy, the world of Perry Mason and the private eye. But now the television confession has become part of the real-life courtroom scene, as dramatic as anything in the movies. Bob Kaplitz of WTVJ Miami has the story.
This 19-year-old defendant, James Eric Knight, has been convicted of murder. Officers say his conviction came about mainly because his confession was videotaped by homicide detectives and played to the jury. In the recording, the teenager says he and a friend named Ricky killed a postman so they could rob him.
Ricky was going wild on him, just hitting him and hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. And then finally Ricky stopped and picked up his hand, dropped it, picked up his hand, dropped it. And then just...
Were you still...
I was still strangling him.
Maintaining pressure with this cord that you have?
I was maintaining pressure with all my might. And it was hard with those two pieces. I had to slip this hand out. And I wrapped it around, and Ricky said, "Tighter, Eric." And I go, "I think he's dead." And Ricky said, "No, I don't care if it takes 15 minutes. Keep it on there." And then he goes, "Do you want me to smash his head?" And I go, "Yes." And he just did it as hard as he could with all his might, and he had to have cracked his head. He just went, "Whoa."
Knight pleaded innocent by reason of insanity, but the jury, which saw the tape, found him guilty. The confession was videotaped by the Dade County Public Safety Department in this studio, which is usually used to make tapes for training purposes. Homicide Detective Dave Simmons says he would like to videotape every suspect who confesses, but he can't.
You have some individuals who are willing to confess to a crime on paper, or that is in writing, where they wouldn't be as agreeable to go on camera.
This suspect confessed to raping and killing 2 boys and a girl ranging in age from 11 to 16. He described one of the murders.
Reached up and just put my hand in her hair and pushed her head down tight, grabbed her by the throat and started choking her. She gave almost no resistance.
Carr was convicted and is serving life in prison, as is this suspect, Preston Shands, who confessed on videotape to robbery and murder.
You're telling me the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, because what all started out to be just a simple little robbery turned out to be a murder.
This tape was never shown to a jury because Shands pleaded guilty on the advice of his attorney, who saw no way he could overcome the confession. In fact, detectives believe the only videotape confession ever shown to a Florida jury has been in the case of James Eric Knight. Bob Kaplitz for CBS News, Miami.